When January rolls around, most of us start thinking about resolutions. Some people want to save more money, others want to hit the gym, and a few lucky ones are planning their dream vacations. But here's the thing, don't let your knit and crochet fall at the bottom of the list. Whether you've been crafting for years or you just picked up your first hook or set of needles, there's always room to grow, improve, and most importantly, enjoy your craft more. If you're a beginner, you're in for a treat, because today I'm about to save you from some of the classic mistakes us seasoned crafters have been making year after year. And if you've been stitching away for a while, I guarantee there's at least one thing on this list that'll hit home for you. But hey, if I totally missed the mark, please let me know in the comments below what your 2025 crafting resolutions are. I'd love to hear them. And who knows, you might inspire someone in the community. Now today's video is all about 10 resolutions every crafter should make in 2025. These aren't just fluffy suggestions, they're practical, achievable, and designed to keep you inspired, productive, and most importantly, stress-free in your creative journey this year. So go ahead, grab your whip that you've been avoiding, you know the one, pour yourself some cozy tea, coffee, hot chocolate, whatever speaks to your soul, and let's chat about how we can make 2025 our best crafting year yet. Okay, let's kick things off with a big one. And if you've been crafting for any amount of time, you already know what I'm gonna say. Yep, we're talking about finishing those lingering whips, works in progress. Listen, we've all got them. That half-finished scarf stuffed in the bottom of the tote bag, that sweater that's just one sleeve away from glory, or that ambitious blanket that somehow turned into a permanent resident of your craft corner. And honestly, it's time to face them. Here's my challenge to you. Make it a goal to finish at least one old project a month. Just one. There's something so satisfying about tying off those final stitches, weaving in those last ends, and officially crossing off a project from your list. Set yourself up for success. Give each whip a real deadline, and when you hit it, celebrate. Treat yourself to a fancy yarn, your favorite snack, or even a moment of I did that pride. But here's the flip side. Sometimes a whip just isn't vibing with you anymore. You know the one. It just feels like a chore every single time you pick it up. Or maybe your style and taste have just changed over time. And guess what? That's okay. Crafting should be fun, not a guilt trip. So if you've got a project that no longer sparks joy, let it go. Frog it. Unravel those stitches and unwind the yarn into a ball and give it a new purpose. Yarn is too precious to sit in an unfinished project forever. And if you need inspiration for your next project, I've got you covered. My channel is packed with crochet and knit playlists with ideas to get those creative gears turning. Whether you're looking for something quick and easy or a long-term masterpiece, I promise there's something here for you. So make 2025 your year you either finish it or frog it. But whatever you do, don't let those beautiful skeins go to waste. Let's talk about something every crafter knows can spiral out of control really fast. Yarn stash organization. Look, we've all been there. You start with a couple skeins neatly tucked away in a basket, and somehow over time it grows into this wild, untamed creature overflowing from bags, bins, and if we're being honest, maybe even some random drawers too. But hey, no shame. Yarn has a way of multiplying when we're not looking. But here's the thing, a tidy stash is a happy stash. Whether it's using clear bins so you can actually see what you have, adding cute little labels to your skeins, or even setting aside time to declutter and let go of what you know you're not going to use, it's worth it. Trust me, your future self will thank you the next time you're searching for that one specific skein you swear you bought last summer. Now I know organizing a yarn stash can feel overwhelming, especially if it's been building up for a while. So here's my advice. Start small. Don't tackle the entire stash in one day. Choose one bin, one shelf, or even just one corner of your craft space. Play some music, light a candle, grab a snack, make it a vibe. And while you're sorting through your yarn, you might come across some skeins that just don't spark joy anymore. Maybe you bought them for a project that you never started, or your color preference changed over time. And guess what? That's okay too. Yarn love can fade, and that doesn't mean you have to hold on to it forever. Here's the rule. Organize first, decide later. But if you know deep down that yarn is never gonna see a hook or a needle in your hands, let it go. Frog those feelings of guilt and let another crafter give it new life. Because as the saying goes, one person's yarn purge is another crafter's dream haul. And if you're wondering what exactly to do with your yarn when you're ready to part with it, don't worry. I actually have a video where I share 3 ways I de-stash my yarn. It's an oldie but a goodie and still packed with helpful tips. So here's your resolution. Take control of your stash, whether you're neatly organizing it, passing it along to a fellow crafter, or even selling it to fund your next yarn haul. Don't let your yarn stash control you. Okay, let's dive into resolution number 3. Learn something new. Here's the thing. Crafting isn't just about making stuff, it's about growing as a maker. And one of the best ways to keep your creativity alive is thriving to pick up a new skill. Maybe it's finally trying trying out Tunisian crochet and discovering all those gorgeous textures it can make, or maybe it's diving into colorwork knitting and conquering those intimidating charts and bobbins, or maybe you want to step out your comfort zone a little bit and try something like punch needling. I've seen some stunning projects made with just a hoop, yarn, and a punch needle tool. Whatever it is, here's my advice. Pick one skill and give yourself permission to be a beginner. Set aside an afternoon or even just an hour to really play with it. No pressure, no deadlines, just you, your yarn, and your little curiosity. For me, I've been itching to experiment with different crochet stitches. You know those stitches that look all fancy in patterns, but you never actually tried them because you're always on a mission to finish a project? As someone who designs patterns themselves, having a handful of unique stitches in my toolkit isn't just fun, it's inspiring. Sometimes one little stitch pattern can spark an entire project idea. And let me tell you, the internet is a goldmine for learning new skills. YouTube tutorials, stitch libraries, online courses, there's no shortage of resources out there. And don't forget about books at your local library. Some of my favorite stitch patterns have come from flipping through an old crochet or knitting stitch dictionary. But here's the real secret. Make it fun. Don't treat it like homework. Grab your favorite yarn, you know the one that you've been saving for something really special, and make yourself a cozy crafting corner and just explore. And if you try something new and it doesn't go perfectly, that's okay. Every expert was a beginner once, and half the fun is just trying. Resolution number 4 is a little more practical, but I promise it's a game changer. Set a crafting budget. Now I know yarn hauls are so much fun. Believe me, I get it. There's something about walking into a craft store or scrolling through an online shop and seeing those beautiful skeins just waiting to be added to your stash. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement, especially when you can see that the perfect color and texture are calling your name. But here's the thing, overspending on yarn can lead to stress. And I don't want that for you. That's why setting a budget for your crafting supplies is one of the best things you can do for your mental and financial well-being. It doesn't mean you have to give up on buying yarn. It just means that you're being more intentional about it. Start by setting a monthly or yearly budget for your yarn and supplies. It's like giving yourself permission to spend within limits, which, trust me, takes away from so much of the guilt that can come from those impulse purchases. You could even use tools like cash envelopes or a craft budget tracker. There are some great printables online to keep you on track. And if you want to get real organized, you could break it down to X amount for yarn and X amount for tools and so on. That way, you know exactly where your money's going and you're less likely to splurge on a whim. Now I know a channel like mine might be the culprit for some of those insane yarn spending sprees, but my goal here is to inspire you, not ruin your budget. It's all about balance, getting excited about new projects in yarn while also keeping your finances in check. By setting a budget, you're not limiting your creativity, you're empowering it. You can plan out your purchases, save for your dream skein you've been eyeing, or set aside money for a future class or tool that you've been wanting to try. And when you stick to a budget, it feels so good to know that you've been smart with your craft spending. So here's your challenge. Create a craft budget that works for you. If you haven't already, try tracking your spending this month and see where your money's going. You might surprise yourself with how much you can save and still enjoy buying new yarn. It's all about being intentional, and trust me, you'll thank me later. All right, let's talk about resolution number 5. It's a bit of a twist on what you might expect from crafters. You know there's a stereotype that crafters are always making things for other people. And while that's true for a lot of folks, like grandmas who always make cozy cardigans for their grandkids, there's also a side of the crafting world where people like me don't make things for others. I'm totally guilty of crafting for myself, whether it's a new crochet top or a super cozy knit hat, and it's all about what I want to wear. But here's the fun part. Depending on your crafting personality, I want you to do the opposite of what you usually do. For those of you who find joy in making things for others, this year, maybe take time to find something just for you. And I mean something you'll wear and enjoy. For example, if you're the type of person who's always crocheting cardigans for your grandkids or knit hats for your friends, how about looking for a cardigan pattern that you'd love to wear yourself? Or maybe a project that's just for you to enjoy and show off. It's totally okay to treat yourself to a handmade gift, and it's the gift that keeps on giving, right? Now, for those of you who are a little more on the selfish crafter side, no shame here, I'm right there with you. How about we switch gears a bit? Use your crafting skills to bless someone else. It doesn't have to be something huge, but it can be as simple as making a personalized gift for a loved one or setting aside some time throughout the year to work on a few projects that you can donate at the end of the year. I mean, imagine dropping off a warm scarf or blanket to a homeless shelter in the colder months. Those little acts of kindness can make a huge difference. So whether your team make it for others or make it for yourself, mix it up this year. Use your skills to bless somebody else, whether it's a heartfelt gift for a friend or a good deed to brighten someone else's day. Remember, your talent is a gift, and it's great when you share it. Don't let yourself be the only one benefiting from your amazing crafting skills. I'd love to hear whether you're a selfish or selfless crafter. Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about resolution number 6. Share your creation. creations. Now, I know some of us can be a little shy when it comes to showing off our work. Maybe you're worried your project isn't perfect, or you're not sure if it's good enough, but I'm here to tell you your craft creations are worth celebrating, every single one. Whether it's a perfectly stitched scarf, a cozy knitted hat, or even a project that had a few hiccups along the way, sharing your work not only helps you celebrate your crafting journey, but it also connects you with the amazing crafting community out there. You don't have to start a YouTube channel or launch a big crafting blog or anything like that, unless of course if you want to, then totally go for it. But you can definitely start small. One great way to share your work is by posting it on Instagram. You can start a separate Instagram account and document your projects, or just use your personal account if it feels more comfortable. Instagram is such a fun way to track your progress, share your finished projects, and connect with others who share your passion for yarn and creativity. But maybe you're not all about social media, and that is totally fine. For me personally, I love posting my finished makes on Ravelry. It's a great way to keep track of all my projects and see how others are interpreting the same patterns. I pretty much always post every single thing I make, and when I look back, it feels so rewarding to see everything that I've created over the years. The key here is to get comfortable with sharing your work in a way that feels good to you. You don't have to go all out, but I promise you, the joy, encouragement, and inspiration you'll receive from others is totally worth it. You might even spark a little creativity in someone else's crafting journey. Let's dive into resolution number 7, plan ahead. I know you might be thinking, planning? I'm a crafter. I work on things as inspiration hits. But hear me out. Planning ahead can be a game changer. Think about it. If you make a list of the seasonal projects, holiday gifts, or big projects that you want to tackle this year, you'll feel so much more organized and less stressed when it's time to sit down and craft. Trust me, no one wants to be up till midnight on Christmas Eve crocheting or knitting a last-minute gift. Having a plan in place helps you break down those big projects into smaller, more manageable tasks. It's all about knowing what you want to make and when you want to make it. You can use a good old-fashioned planner, a digital app, or even a simple list, whatever works best for you. But the key here is to map out your year, even if it's just a rough outline of what you want to work on each season. And if you're like me and love having project ideas, I'm actually going to do a video where I plan out my entire year of crafting projects. It's going to be a fun one, and I'll share what I'm hoping to make throughout the entire year, from small accessories to big statement pieces. If you're looking for some inspiration for what to make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for that video. I'm hoping to give you some ideas for your own crafting plans. Now let's be real, things won't always go according to plan. We all know how it goes. We start a project, get distracted by something shiny, and before we know it, working on something completely different. And that's the beauty of crafting, right? Flexibility is key, but even if your plans don't unfold as you expect, having a roadmap will still make it easier to get back on track. And listen, it's not about perfection. It's about setting yourself up for success and avoiding that last-minute scrambling when life gets busy. So take a few minutes, jot down some goals or ideas for the year ahead, and maybe you want to finish a certain number of projects or tackle a specific technique you've been eyeing. Planning ahead doesn't have to be rigid. It can be a helpful guide to keep you feeling motivated and on track. I'll be honest, planning doesn't always work perfectly for me either, but it definitely helps me feel more control of my crafting. So I hope this year we can plan ahead, stay inspired, and tackle some of those dream projects without the last-minute stress. Let's make 2025 our most organized, productive, and enjoyable crafting year yet. Moving on to resolution number 8, use up your yarn scraps. Now I know you got those little leftover bits of yarn piling up somewhere, whether it's from your latest sweater project, a few rows of a scarf, or even a half-finished blanket. And let's be honest, we've all thought about it. I'll hold on to this for something eventually. But here's the thing, those scraps don't have to be a curse. They can actually be your next creative opportunity. Leftover yarn is a gold mine. You can transform those small, scrappy bits into so many cool things. Think about scrappy blankets, which are super fun to make and totally customizable. And how about making pom-poms? They're great for adding a pop of color to your projects. Plus, they're a quick and easy way to use up those leftovers. There are so many possibilities to make the most of the yarn you've already got. I recommend you keep a dedicated scrap yarn project going. That way, when you finish a project and have leftover yarn, you already know where it's going, into your scrap project. You'll be surprised how quickly it actually adds up. And before you know it, you have a whole collection of fun, colorful creations. No more waste, just tons of possibilities. In fact, I've got feedback on my last dopamine scarf that it was a perfect yarn scrap project. So that might be a good place to start. You guys love that scarf, so I'm definitely open to showing more scrap-friendly projects like that one. Plus, there's something so satisfying about turning something small and leftover into a full-fledged project. It's like you're getting a second life from your yarn. And honestly, it feels like saving the planet too, right? Waste not, want not. And the best part, you can get creative. There's no wrong way to use the scraps, so just play around and see what happens. Crafting is so much fun, but let's not forget about something really important. Resolution number 9 is to take breaks. I know, when you're deep in a project, it's easy to get lost and keep going for hours, but trust me, your body will thank you if you remember to pause and reset every now and then. It's really important to listen to your body. Stretch your hands, roll your shoulders, rest your eyes from focusing on those tiny stitches or complicated patterns. We've all been there, the dreaded hand cramps, the sore back, the tired eyes from long crafting sessions. The best way to avoid burnout is to build in regular breaks. You can even set a timer, maybe every 30 or 45 minutes, just to remind yourself to take a breather. Step away, stretch, get a drink of water, let your hands and mind refresh. It can make all the difference in how you feel after your crafting session. If you're like me, you may need a little encouragement to get up and stretch. That's why I've got you covered with a 10-minute stretching video that I posted here on my channel. It's a fun, easy way to keep those muscles relaxed and get you back to your project without any discomfort. Seriously, it's only 10 minutes, so it's a perfect excuse for a mini break between your crafting. We all love to craft, but taking care of ourselves is just as important. Your creativity flows best when you feel good, so make sure you take the time to recharge. Don't forget, the goal is not just to make beautiful projects, but to enjoy the process without running yourself into the ground. And finally, resolution number 10, enjoy every stitch, every knot, every loop. Look, we all know how easy it is to get caught up in finishing a project or getting it just right. But honestly, crafting isn't just about the final product. It's about the entire process. It's about the joy you feel when you pick up your yarn and your hook or your needles and you dive into the rhythm of creating something with your own hands. It's about how the yarn feels between your fingers, the satisfaction from every stitch, and the excitement of seeing your project come to life row by row. This year, let's make a vow to ourselves to slow down and savor the process. So often we rush through our crafting just to get to the end. But think about it, those little moments along the way are where the magic really happens. Every stitch counts, every row is progress, even if it's just one row at a time. And those small wins, like finally getting that stitch just right, or finishing a few rounds in a project you've been working on for a while, they really matter. I definitely find joy in the act of crafting. It's not always about completing something huge or perfect. It's about enjoying the journey and letting the process fuel your creativity. And the best part is I get to share it with you all. Honestly, sharing my work, my journey, and my ideas with you is one of the most rewarding parts of my crafting life. Y'all are the cherry on top. So whether you're crocheting, knitting, or exploring a new craft, it's okay to take a step back and appreciate the simple moments. So let's take 2025 and make it the year we celebrate every stitch, every knot, and every loop, no matter how small. Because when we stop and appreciate the little things, we end up having so much more fun with our crafts. Trust me, the end result will still be amazing, but the memories we make along the way are what really stick with us. Okay, so I said 10 resolutions, but since you're still here with me, let's sneak in a bonus one. I know some of you might be crossing off resolutions left and right before spring even gets here. So here's a little extra challenge for you. Why not treat yourself to a She Tried It knit or crochet pattern? Whether you've been looking for a new project to dive into or you want to challenge yourself with something fresh, I've got patterns available on Etsy and Ravelry, and I'd love for you to try them out. And if you want something a little more hands-on or streamlined, check out some of my kits on the Lion Brand website. I have designs for both knitters and crocheters, so no matter what your craft choice is, I've got you covered. Plus, you'll get everything you need to complete your project, which can make the crafting experience way more enjoyable. I just want to say that your support means the world to me, whether you pick up a pattern, a kit, or even just leave a comment. It all helps keep this channel going and allow me to create more content that you love. But there you have it, 10 plus 1 resolutions every crafter should make in 2025. Which one are you most excited to try out first? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you're going to tackle this year. And before you go, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you stay updated on all the crafting inspiration, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting video. Here's to your year of creativity, crafting, and self-care. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!